While some chefs listen and commit to the changes brought by kitchen nightmares, others choose to dismiss Chef Ramsay's guidance in shockingly bold ways. Let's see what happened to the restaurants that blatantly ignored Gordon Ramsay's advice. Kicking it off strong with Chappie's, a Cajun restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee, with absurd mannequins, questionable chef attire, and an owner who's deluded enough to rate his food perfectly.
And how would you rate your food currently out of 10? What would you give it?
I wouldn't put it out if I didn't think it was delicious.
Just asking.
So I give him a 10 every time I do it, you know?
Even when, in reality, Gordon reacted to the gumbo this way.
It looks like Chappie took a crappie in my gumbo. It's like a puddle. It's just watery. I mean, it's just like lukewarm and gloopy. See the skin? Yeah. Very watery. There's no flavor anywhere. Just bland.
Gotcha. I'm gonna fix it.
And let's not forget his iconic pounded filet mignon steak.
Do you mind?
I'll try it. No.
Please. Come on.
The lobster I couldn't even eat. As I was trying to bite down on it, it was bouncing back.
Regardless, Chef John Chappie Chapman still saw his food as perfection.
Well, he couldn't even get through the steak. It was all gristle.
It was gristle?
Yeah,
What do you mean gristle?
gristle and chewy.
Chef Ramsay's a dummy. You know, if there's something that I think is absolutely wrong, he doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm gonna tell him. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
And constantly brushed off Gordon's concerns about the restaurant.
Seasoning. It wasn't even hot. It was lukewarm.
So it was actually bubbling hot.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. It wasn't bubbly hot. I don't find it funny.
Okay.
But the food didn't just taste bad. Based on the fridge's state, which was filled with expired ingredients, cross-contaminated meat, and the worst mold empire Gordon had ever seen on the show, Chappie's dishes could have sent people to the hospital.
Absolute mess. I have never seen that. Ever. And I want to know, what the hell are you doing?
But with zero sense of accountability, Chappie dismisses the molding fridge as a spill.
The hell are you doing?
Something was spilled.
Can you stop bullshitting?
Because of this, Gordon had to drop one of his most iconic lines on the show.
You right now are a legend, because you have raised the bar so f***ing high that you've taught every chef in the world how not to cook. Congratulations.
The only way Chappie could see how bad his restaurant was to watch customers' reviews through a hidden camera. And from there, Gordon started working on the transformation. Only it wasn't that easy, because even when an expert was brought in to train Chappie, he ignored all of the techniques and advice, and the relaunch night service started to fall apart immediately.
Here's your medium rare.
I need 2 pork chops.
Where's the pork chop, please?
I need those pork chops desperately.
Chappie, get in the game a little bit, please. Hey, we haven't said anything yet. It's almost like we've gone to sleep.
The night somehow ended in partial success, but consistent with how he's been the entire episode, in a rare turn of events, Kitchen Nightmares itself was the one to share that Chappie started to ignore everything Gordon taught just 4 weeks later.
Left. In spite of positive feedback about the changes, Chappie went back to his old ways. The majority of his original dishes are back, and so is the uncertainty of the future of this Nashville restaurant.
As foreshadowed, in mid-2013, just months after the episode was aired in December of 2012, Chappie's had to close down its business due to poor performance and unpaid taxes. But he didn't go down quietly and gracefully. Chapman was still blaming Gordon till the very end, with the National Enquirer quoting Chappie saying, "It was truly a kitchen nightmare for me. Gordon destroyed my business. We went down to almost nothing, down to 1 table in a night." Chappie mentioned that Kitchen Nightmares killed his business, mentioning he had no idea that the show would completely gut the restaurant and rid the New Orleans flair he was so proud of. For Chappie, reversing most of the changes made by Ramsay was a way of taking care of Nashville and responding to his local customer requests. But reviews were proving otherwise. Just months before closing, when Chappie's would have been serving its original dishes, many staggeringly low-star reviews appeared. One reviewer complained about the food, mentioning, "I've eaten here twice and was disappointed both times. Being from the south of New Orleans, I realize I am picky with Cajun cuisine. But even if it doesn't taste authentic, it should at least taste good. If in the mood for Cajun, I'd go elsewhere." And another being more critical of Chapman himself, saying, "I've only been here once. Terrible decor, even worse food, and way overpriced. It's sad to already see posts that Chappie has gone back to their old menu. If he had a lot of customers already and was doing well, that might make sense, but I don't think you go on that show if you're already doing well. If he wanted to really grow here in Nashville, probably not the best idea to ignore Chef Ramsay's advice. But while Chappie was undoubtedly one of the most irresponsible owners in the show, at least he wasn't too aggressive with his staff, which was very much the case at Bazini, whose owner, Chef Bazini, managed to make his kitchen feel like a war zone half the time.
Paul Bazini.
That's why you have a ticket! Don't push it, Paul! But what's with the f***ing sarcasm? What the f*** you want from me?
The chef was too proud of his reputation, yet he was serving food so bad that Gordon couldn't help but play with his meal.
Amazing Bazini's risotto. Ooh, wow, that's extraordinary, no? Doesn't even move. Yeah. It fits the colours. What a mess.
And during service, even regular customers kept sending plates back to the kitchen. Now, in an incredibly rare instance, Gordon actually loved the restaurant's carrot cakes. But that was all thanks to Sharon, the pastry chef.
Oh, you scared me. Don't come around the corner like that.
Sharon.
First of all, that is delicious.
Awesome.
Whose recipe is that?
Mine.
The owner, Chef Bazini, on the other hand, was always fueling the kitchen's warlike atmosphere.
Next month. But what's with the fucking sarcasm?
What can happen if you tell me you do it one f***ing way? Then you changing it. What the f*** you want from me?
Changing it right.
Well, you told me the first f***ing time.
And was slowing down service.
Yeah, but she have her... Yeah, Paul is communicating, but most of his communication is that he can't handle it and it's going too fast.
He decides how fast things come out. I don't know why it takes so long. I just know it takes so long.
To the point that the customers had to voice out their frustration as well.
All joking aside,
It is a little bit. Like a little, yeah.
In the dining room.
Get my food now!
So Chef Ramsay was left with no choice but to shut down the kitchen.
Stop. We can't continue like this. Stop it.
But after a sincere heart-to-heart talk with Bazini, Gordon knew exactly how to turn things around.
I don't care if it's not easy. I just want it to be better.
Don't stop trying.
To ignite passion back in Chef Paul, Chef Ramsay introduced the Pasta Challenge, which became the gateway for an improved menu with fresh, creative dishes. Paired with a stunning renovation, it seemed like the restaurant was finally turning a corner. But unfortunately, on relaunch night, Paul Bazini couldn't handle the stress, and even the sous chef walked out, leaving Gordon no choice but to work hands-on. One way or another, the team managed to wrap up the night with smiling customers.
The food is fantastic.
Worth the wait. Risotto has a wonderful taste. Great risotto.
But a year after filming, Gordon was welcomed by Bazini's closed doors. Gordon initially thought the restaurant might simply be closed for lunch, but Sharon told him otherwise.
I'm standing outside Bazini's. Why aren't you open for lunch?
Closed for lunch, breakfast, supper. It's closed, dude.
What? Closed for good?
Despite Chef Ramsay advising Paul to open during lunch service and keep his temper in check, he specifically ignored these pieces of advice, as pointed out by Sharon.
I was late one day and he got all pissy and throwing shit all over the place and being nasty, and I just got pissed off and I said, I'm out of here. I just couldn't work there.
After everything you did for him?
Right.
But that turned out to be a blessing in disguise for her, as she was able to open up her own bakery with sweets that, once again, Gordon absolutely praised.
I'm baking. Check it out. An apple. What do you think? The truth. Come on, Gordon.
It's delicious.
Unfortunately, problematic owners like Paul weren't just a thing of the past, as during the revival series of the show, post-COVID-19 pandemic, another restaurant also showcased a chaotic owner dynamic. In 2023, South Brooklyn Foundry became the struggling brainchild of owners Kelly, who was in $700,000 debt, and Rye, her partner, who hasn't invested a cent in the business, despite having another pizzeria of his own. South Brooklyn Foundry's insane prices included expensive burgers,
South Brooklyn Foundry. Where I've eaten some very expensive but mediocre food. $30. It's overpriced.
But really, most of the problem traced back to Rye, who was taking home a $70,000 salary while working half the hours, because he believed his concept and recipes alone were worth more than cash.
The concept was mine, the recipes were mine, and I felt like that was equal or more to someone just putting in cash.
And to make it more absurd, he kept disrespecting his partner, Kelly, who was carrying all the burden to keep the doors open.
Disrespecting.
Right off the bat, Gordon saw that the restaurant was better off without him. So Gordon had to convince Kelly that the exploitative Rai deserves to go.
Ray, he's showing no responsibility, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he's manipulating you. I'm here to help, okay? But what you need to do is clear the decks. When these other businesses that he's involved in take off, you're gonna be dropped. You've got some tough decisions to make.
But upon being asked to leave, Rai still had the nerve to ask Kelly if he could take over the restaurant instead, completely disregarding the fact that the restaurant was built with Kelly's blood, sweat, and tears.
Why don't you just let me take over the business and I'll take the debt? I'm in debt.
So hypothetically, if we roll that over to me, the debt, would you walk away for zero? I'm not twisting words. I'm asking you a question.
Why didn't you come up with the money when we were in debt? If you were 50-50 partner, why didn't you come up with it then?
Is that what you're hoping she was gonna say?
What?
Yeah, I'll sign it over to you.
No, that's not my plan. I feel like I'm being offered something that's not fair.
But eventually, Rai agreed to leave, and Gordon was more than happy to slam the door behind him. Although there were hiccups along the way, the restaurant was able to stabilize during relaunch service with Kelly at the helm. Though at the end of the episode, it's revealed that Rai ended up returning to the restaurant 2 months later. Despite Gordon's efforts, the restaurant wasn't able to get back on its feet for long-term success. In July 2024, a year after filming, South Brooklyn Foundry announced that it would close its doors. And Rai didn't shy away from discussing his experience with kitchen nightmares with the Brooklyn paper. According to the interview piece, Kelly and Rai had only applied to be on a kitchen renovation program aimed at helping struggling businesses after the pandemic, unaware that they had signed up to appear on the high-drama show Kitchen Nightmares. Kelly went on to say that applying to appear on the show was the worst decision she has ever made. And in her own words, she mentioned that they made it seem that in that show, we didn't know what we were doing as far as serving. She also thought the finished renovations did not suit the functionality or style of the restaurant. And since they deemed Ramsay's changes were not sustainable in the long run, they had to go back to their original menu and pricing shortly after filming, completely ignoring Ramsay's major concerns about them affecting customer experience. Reviews prior to the restaurant's closure were mixed. Some loved the food, while others had a lot to complain about the restaurant. If you'd like a delicious dinner with great customer service and a fantastic atmosphere, this place is not for you. Food wasn't bad, but not good enough to ever return to this nightmare. An added bonus is that your drinks will take at least 25 minutes to arrive and will inevitably be screwed up. Now, Kelly was no perfect owner, but anyone could see that she was desperate to save her business. A level of urgency that Rachel, the owner of Piccolo Teatro in Paris, did not share in the slightest, as even during filming, she ignored anything Gordon said or did for her restaurant. This was a daring vegetarian restaurant in the heart of a meat-loving Parisian neighborhood, and it was constantly making the owner lose money.
Since Rachel took over the business, she's been losing nearly $5.5 grand every month.
But clearly, the risky concept wasn't its main problem. Daniel, the chef, was draining sales faster than he could slice a cucumber.
Almost 20 minutes later, he's still fiddling with the salads.
This is how we normally function?
I would say so.
And his kitchen was filthy enough to have dead flies.
It's a blessing in disguise that meat hasn't been cooked in this kitchen.
Fucking hell.
With hygiene standards this low, they would have been wheeling out the customers by the coffin load.
That's food in there, no?
Yeah.
And he almost turned Kitchen Nightmares into an entirely different genre of reality TV.
Mais c'est sérieux si tu me mets dehors. Si tu me mets dehors.
Oui, absolument. Je suis sérieuse. C'est mon décision finale.
Attendez. On prend une solution.
Let's go.
Attention. Oh là, careful.
S'il te plaît, tu m'énerves pas. On va pas.
Laisse le couteau là.
Rien mis tous les deux, c'est moi le patron. S'il te plaît, tu parles et je t'appelle à tout à l'heure.
D'accord.
Laisse.
Vous laissez, d'accord?
Écoutez-moi.
Je vais jeter là.
But if anything was holding back Daniel in Piccolo Teatro, That would have been Rachel, the owner herself. She quite literally ignored Gordon's presence while filming, letting Chef Ramsay serve an entire lunch service alone.
I'll prove that by offering a quick, good value lunch, Rachel could earn some much needed cash.
6 euros. Madame, 200 mètres, tout droit, à gauche, le restaurant. 6 euros.
Not opening for lunch in such a prime location is either madness or laziness.
The soup was the best soup we've ever.
And even when she was given all the harsh advice and tools she needed to pull her restaurant together, she was still all over the place during relaunch service. Thankfully though, Gordon's new concept of creating sexy vegetarian food together with the new chef, India, was a hit even among meat-loving local Parisians. But just like Gordon feared before leaving,
I'm not 100% convinced that Rachel has the right attitude to run a business.
Rachel had an entirely different plan for the restaurant. 6 weeks later, Gordon returned to Piccolo Teatro only to find that it had closed permanently. He had met up with India, the newly hired chef, who went on to explain that Rachel just left the restaurant with no explanation, burdening her dad with all the financial repercussions and rendering India unemployed overnight. India tried to run the restaurant with Rachel's dad on their own, but they realized that without the daughter, this was no longer going to work, and shut down the restaurant permanently. Gordon somehow managed to talk to Rachel, and true to form, he was not discreet about how displeased he was about Rachel ghosting the place. Still, she was unapologetic about the decision.
You're lazy, you put nothing into it, and you deserve a kick up the ass, Missy. You had every possibility, Rachel, of making this successful.
Right, I've had enough. I've had enough of your abuse. I don't need this interrogation. I don't need it. Sorry.
At the very least, though, this mishap opened India's pathway to one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, Boxwood, which would have been far better than being managed by an owner like Rachel anyway. In contrast to Piccolo Teatro's rotting vegetables, we have Dovecote Bistro, a restaurant surrounded by some of the best fresh meat in the country, but whose owner, Mick, preferred using ingredients worse than frozen meat. Unrefrigerated vacuum-sealed lamb shanks with a 1-year shelf life, cooked in a microwave before reaching the plates of customers. Apparently, these packages provided Mick with more consistent, uniform cuts, though for obvious reasons, Gordon refused to taste even a portion of this mystery meat.
Excellent, thank you. This is local lamb.
They're actually vacuum-packed ones. Actually, they can last for about a year. They're vacuum-packed, the lamb shanks, and they've actually got a life shelf of about a year, and they don't have to be kept refrigerated.
Holy f***. Well, f*** me.
And on the box,
that's the first for me. I'm not even going to taste it.
That's fine.
Up.
Gordon's first conversation with Mick was a slap of criticism.
Hello. In 21 years of cooking, I've never, ever refused to taste a dish. I got told that it has a shelf life of 12 months, doesn't need refrigerating, and Dad didn't cook it. Me. I'm surprised you haven't killed off half the population in Oakhampton.
They've got to be safe, haven't they? They wouldn't sell them.
But Mick's shortcomings didn't stop at his questionable ingredient choice. He even had zero regard for his wife and daughter.
You've got a phone there to communicate. Don't come down here and try and make a scene because you're on camera.
And on top of that, he didn't mind serving raw or burnt dishes to a customer.
Look at that, absolutely perfect. See if that comes back, I don't think it will. There you go.
And he was literally ignoring Gordon during service.
Hey, look at me. I swear to God, I don't know what it is, but in service you disappear. You disappear.
I don't get that. Hello.
Everything I'm telling you, I'm trying to help you.
I know you are.
But you're not paying attention to help.
The only real fix Chef Ramsay could think of was to kick him out of the kitchen and allow their daughter to lead as head chef. After rebranding the restaurant to Martin's Bistro, Mick was put in front of the house, and the relaunch night went fairly well. Except Mick decided to start stressing out over nothing.
Stressed. Very stressed.
When confronted about his performance, Mick once again decided to brush off everything Gordon had said.
So you were in control of the dining room tonight?
Yeah, I was. Full control.
You were flapping around. Why do you always think that people are picking on you when I'm trying to tell you something objectively?
Good night.
6 weeks after the relaunch, the newly improved restaurant showed great potential. But unfortunately, just a couple of months down the line, the restaurant's overall performance reverted to how bad it was before. And the reason was clear once again. Mick was ignoring everything Gordon tried to change. They once again included impractical dishes on the menu.
We've got a rack of lamb back on there, which is an expensive cut. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And then we've got a sea bass. Why have we gone back to macro?
Local, it's $8.99. Macro English, it's $4.99. There's a big difference in buying power.
And Mick had the audacity to blame Gordon for the lack of customers.
No disrespect to you, Gordon, we have lost customers over your menu.
Oh,
no, seriously.
Off.
We lost two regular
Oh,
customers.
come on.
Gordon still tried to help get them back on track, knocking some sense into the owner again, telling him that they should stick to fresh ingredients exclusively from locals. It's unclear whether the restaurant still continued its original menu or changed it completely, but in 2015 they sold the business, and the Grayling's Oakhampton now stands in its place with a healthy TripAdvisor rating of 4.1 stars. Just as Mick was reckless enough to trust serving vacuum-sealed, unrefrigerated meat to customers, Lawrence from La Parra wasn't afraid of being experimental either. His original menu had a staggering 72 dishes, divided into different themes.
Burger night, kebab menu, Chinese chicken or pork, confused. So what the fuck's going on?
And most of them were bizarre, overly quirky creations. Like the prawn with chocolate sauce, the steak kebab that had a very questionable presentation.
Fuck me, is that how they're always served? Oh, Jesus. Me, is someone taking the piss? How can you expect something like that and that to be cooked at the same time? And that, in terms of presentation, looks like a pile of shit.
Which Gordon later described as,
with this fucking donkey's dick swinging in front of their face. It's hilarious.
and charred cream Catalana. But just when Gordon thought it couldn't get any worse, Lawrence admitted that he once served a charity group meal so bad that La Parra de Burriana was essentially blacklisted in the local community.
How bad did it go? I mean, was it...
It was a complete It was an absolute disaster.
In what way?
The food was overcooked, dry, tasteless, like cardboard.
Did you give it to them on the house?
No.
You charged them?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder they haven't been back.
Oh, and as a side note, the restaurant managed to get robbed of $5,500 at night in the middle of filming. The relaunch night wasn't exactly smooth sailing for customers, as Alex, one of the chefs, double-booked several tables.
Table 6.
Table 6, yeah. I double-booked it, you see, at the start of the night, and I had to tell them that, we need to have the table back.
Alex has simply got greedy in thinking they can turn tables around in an hour. People are turning up for their reservations, but have nowhere to sit.
But overall, customers loved the new and improved menu. And even 4 weeks later, Gordon was happy to hear the restaurant was almost consistently doubling their revenue. When Gordon revisited La Parra in June 2007, nearly a year after the original filming took place, La Parra had a much better revenue stream than before.
A second restaurant. This one has a lot to live up to. Lawrence's new menu has no stupid twists.
However, it was immediately clear that instead of focusing on Spanish delicacies, La Parra had slipped back into its old, confused identity.
Doesn't seem to be much Spanish influence going on.
But now I'm faced with Italian pasta and that old Spanish classic, bread and butter pudding.
Bread and butter pudding
Bread and butter pudding, nice one.
The food was back to its mediocre quality, and the icing on top was...
Speciality of the house is still cremated desserts.
Not even a year down the line, Lawrence had completely disregarded Chef Ramsay's advice to stick to Spanish cuisine, prepare proper dessert, and cook proper good food. And when confronted, he continued to ignore Gordon's criticisms and blindly defended his odd dishes.
Perfect that it's here. Why is my bread and butter pudding in black on the bottom? You're not going to tell me that that's what they want as well, no, surely.
It's not black.
Defensive, and
I'm
your ego's been
going to
dented.
defend my food. You think I'm just going to sit here and go, yeah, it's all burnt, sorry, shit?
Mine was full of burnt raisins. Just have a little taste of that.
Okay, no.
No, I love the way you... No, I want you to taste it. Right.
Lawrence still can't admit when he's wrong, and I can't stomach bullshit.
But he eventually admitted that the restaurant was struggling to get people in the door during lunch. Ramsay's unique idea to knock some sense back into Lawrence was to prove that tourists wanted true Spanish cuisine while in Spain through a cooking face-off. It was pretty obvious that the tourists preferred paella to Lawrence's pasta. It's not clear whether Lawrence ended up following or further ignoring Chef Ramsay's advice after this revisit, but the restaurant ended up closing down the following year in August 2008, 2 years after Gordon started filming in the restaurant. There were talks, though, that before closing, Parra had already been taken over by the owner of the building. So that would mean Lawrence would have let go of the restaurant earlier than that. Currently, Lawrence works in the hospitality industry, managing and giving advice to hotels and pubs back in the UK. While Parra was known for its absurd charcoal dessert, Blackberries, on the other hand, served cake so good that Gordon actually left a compliment.
Wow, that is delicious. Finally.
How do you like this?
Yeah, it's delicious. Well done. Wow.
But ironically, this restaurant is still incredibly deserving to be on this list. That's because Shelley Withers, the owner of Blackberries, didn't just ignore Gordon's advice after the show. She was literally ignoring him during filming. First by refusing to believe how bad her food actually was.
Oh, now you know that is a pretty plate, right?
How's your pork chop?
Yeah, the pork chop is dry. The mac and cheese is way overcooked and very mushy.
What's wrong?
He's saying that the macaroni and cheese is dry and overcooked.
Oh.
Everything is cooked to perfection. There is nothing on that menu that is not perfect.
Even when Gordon had to pray before tasting the chitlins.
Should they really stink? Before I do taste them, I'd like to pray to God before I put any of that in my mouth.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, you are blessed. We rebuke the spirit of the devil.
Also, this was her reaction to Chef Ramsay throwing up due to her food tasting so bad.
He's in the bathroom throwing up.
Throwing up?
Holy crap.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Shelley even went as far as accusing Gordon of planting a dead mouse in the store for the show.
Pulling mice out of his pockets and stuff.
I walked in the front door, a mouse.
The mouse that you planted, I know. They told me, but it's okay.
Which made Gordon almost quit due to the sheer disrespect.
Take your restaurant and stick it.
You out of here, I'm out of here. Excuse me, go. See you later. Shut it down. Let's go. It's over.
But after seeing Mary frustrated over Shelley's unprofessional and dismissive attitude,
could you please shut up? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have worked tremendously trying to support my child, and I don't understand. Please don't leave.
Yeah, no, I'm out of here.
Please don't
Because you're
leave.
exaggerating.
Gordon agreed to continue helping, giving the restaurant a much-needed makeover and revamping the menu.
And it just lost that intimacy. Now it's the restaurant. Gone is the cafeteria.
Chef Ramsay has created a fresh, new soul food menu.
Give him a bit of a new twist. Starting off with the black-eyed pea fritters. Delicious.
But unfortunately, even during the relaunch night, Shelley stormed out mid-service, ignoring Gordon's plea for her to get it all together.
I am the owner of this business, and I'm just not taking any shit from anyone.
Hell no.
Who put my corn in it?
I did. It's dry. I don't want it to dry out, honey.
Do that.
Shelley,
Yes,
Shelley,
sir.
don't do that. Look at me. I only asked you, don't do it. Mateen,
Yes.
We're going back again. We're going back to our old bullshit ways. Don't touch what he's doing.
Okay.
It wasn't even done yet.
Thank you.
I don't care what he said.
Chef Ramsay's system works. It's just Shelley that doesn't want it to work.
Now you walk away.
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
She's gone.
Bye. See you later.
Though Gordon and the staff still managed to pull the service together, the episode ended by showing Blackberries getting back on track weeks after filming took place. Clearly, though, this improvement was nothing but a temporary step, as Blackberries shut down in 2013, less than 2 years after Kitchen Nightmares aired, with a lower than average 2.7-star review on Yelp. According to reviews, Shelley still continued being the same overbearing, stubborn owner who managed to get on everyone's nerves, with one reviewer saying, "This place is a horror show. All the yelling and screaming put a knot in our stomachs, and from there the food itself made things worse. We left with headaches and a seasick, nauseous feeling. Never again." While others highlighted long wait times, inconsistency, and poor management. Food overcooked and cold at the same time? How is that? I've eaten at Chef Ramsay's restaurants before. I can assure you this is slop compared to the quickie meal I got from him at Heathrow Airport. That just about says it all. Based on her social media page, Shelley has returned to her catering business, where her passion and success with food started in the first place, and it seems like she's on track to keep going at it for decades. Just when you think dealing with one problematic owner like Shelley is bad enough, the three owners of Black Pearl went even further, ignoring Gordon's advice and taking post-show changes to a whole new extreme. This restaurant's trio couldn't be more different than each other. Brian barely showed up at work, Greg worked hard but had no idea how to make decisions, and David was a know-it-all who even forbade the chef from adding seasoning to the main lobster rolls.
Soggy, lobster bland. Do you not season it, salt, pepper, when you bind it with mayonnaise?
No.
No. Why not?
Because, according to him, it was the authentic way to do so.
Well, we get most of our recipes and our ideas from Maine, and it's not the way it's done.
They have salt in Maine. I've lived in Maine for 3 months. I know it very well. I'm really nervous now. I've never known a chef that's not allowed to season his food. Is this man your chef or is he your puppet?
The result was a failing restaurant that made Gordon Ramsay describe the food as
horrible. Soaking wet bread. It's like eating a wet diaper.
And the British chef couldn't help but give the owners scathing and incredibly fitting nicknames.
Basically, in a nutshell, sleepy, dopey, and grumpy. Who am I? Snow White?
But it wouldn't have taken a food-savvy Gordon to realize just how deeply in trouble the Black Pearl was, as regular customers themselves couldn't stomach most of the food. To make it all worse, David didn't mind mislabeling their star dish, lobster, passing off cheaper Canadian lobster as Maine lobster. Essentially, Gordon had the staff elect a single leader to run the restaurant. Greg was chosen as the sole managing partner, stripping the other two of any real authority. Relaunch night started chaotically, with both Greg and the kitchen getting overwhelmed, but it all ended on a positive note, and plates were pushed out with no delay. Though not for long, because when Gordon tried to revisit a year later, the Black Pearl had already closed down, and a different restaurant, the Hog Pit, had taken over.
Brian around, it was actually all right. It was pretty good. The staff worked very well together, and so that made me feel good all night long.
The lobster was really good.
Stephen, the former server of the Black Pearl, met up with Gordon and explained how the owners started to ignore the changes implemented by the show bit by bit.
Come on, you don't give two fucks about this place.
Really?
You're not passionate about running a restaurant.
Really?
You're just abusing it and using it. What do you mean bullshit?
Not true.
From the first minute you walked in this door, standing there with your big long coat, your sunglasses, looking like proud cock. That was it, first impressions.
The three owners even sold one of the additions Gordon was especially proud of.
I work my off.
So what? So what?
And I never take anything for granted.
But if anything proved just how much the trio hated and wanted to throw Gordon's ideas out the window, it was the letter they released to the media, which reached publications like the New York Eater. In the letter, the three noted, "The changes Gordon Ramsay made were ridiculed by the press, hated by our regular customers, and were the direct cause of a 50% drop in revenues, and we were never able to recover financially." They described Gordon's ideas as laughable and proved to be utter failures, proceeding to say that Gordon's innovations had nothing to do with their concept of a New England lobster shack, something he clearly knows nothing about, and even went as far as to say, "While I hope Gordo meets an untimely death so that I can dance on his grave, it is time to move on." Safe to say they didn't just want to ignore Gordon's help, they hated him for it. But surely their pride in their obviously failing restaurant backfired, and things likely would have been better had they actually followed Gordon's advice. If you love these kinds of videos, comment below with the types of restaurants you want to see next.